when we are so focused on comparing ourselves, yun, nagkakaroon tayo ng sense of resentment. Yung sabi mo nga, nagkakaroon ng inggit, and a sense of a more dangerous path, which is worthlessness in ourselves.
Hi, Langga.
This is Jared.
And this is Apple.
Welcome to the Langga Speaks podcast.
Join our beloved conversations
about God's love and joy. Hello mga Langga, this is the Langga Speaks podcast. Oh my gosh, I miss recording with you.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we last recorded. Thank you, Langga, for covering for last week. Yung nakatulog na ako sa sobrang pagod. So what Jarek did, he took the audio from a talk that I gave last year, 2021. So
Exactly.
thank you for covering up last week. Hello sa mga Langga who haven't heard both of us in a couple of weeks. Before we begin this episode, we would like to make a special shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out to
Shout out.
Nanay Dals Viray. Medyo late yung shout out. I mean,
Ilang
siguro-
linggo? Dalawang linggo?
Ilang linggo. Hindi, medyo matagal na rin. Yung ilang linggo na siya. Like,
3 weeks yung gap.
Hindi, nung umuwi pa sila ng Pilipinas, they went for vacation. And then even before then, parang she realized na,
Ay, hindi pa pala ako nagpapadala ng kape.
Ay, hindi naman sa ganun. Pero
Di ba yan? Di ba yan?
she started from
Ah.
episode 1. And then she's just been on a binging kind of marathon. Actually, there's been a couple of Langga who's been telling us lately na nagbe-binge sila. So, shout out din sa inyo. You know who you are. Thank you for DMing us and posting about us on your IG stories. Yung mga lately, the past week, diba?
True. So we also wanted to say thank you to Donna Esguerra for sending us some coffee. And because of your coffee, we're able to record this late at night, even though we
True.
had a full day.
True.
It was such a fun day, by the way.
It was a fun day.
We had an experience with a sushi that I haven't tasted before, which is the part of the tuna, the fatty part, which is otoro.
Otoro, yeah.
I think I did. Oh, chutoro yun before.
No. We had all three. So, like in the tuna belly, there are 3 different cuts. There's the toro, there's the chutoro, and there is the toro ba? And there's the otoro, and it's like the grade of fat in the tuna belly. So the pinaka fattiest part of the tuna belly is the otoro. So that's
Akami.
akami.
Yeah, it's the bluefin tuna yields akami, chutoro, and otoro.
Akami.
What's a toro?
Hindi ko alam kung bakit toro sinabi ko. Toro parang bull ata yun, di ba? So yun.
Akami
So
or
nag-enjoy.
akami yata.
It was a nice day of just catching up with friends. Our kids were with cousins and they had fun. Ay, alam mo, narealize ko din, yung anak natin, yung panganay, ano na siya, no? Hindi na siya baby.
Hindi na siya naghahanap.
Naglaro siya ng video game today.
Yeah, the
Tuwang-tuwa
Pixar
pa
one.
siya. Yeah, he played Pixar. Tuwang-tuwa ako. Oh my gosh. Our son is almost 5 years old. Grabe.
Speaking of, and we're being, we've been on the weird side of things. I think people think that we're weird because all of the decisions that we do. Saan ka nakakita na magulang? Parang natuwa pa nag-video game.
Hindi naman sa ganun. It's just like I realized how fast time flies. Diba? Yung ganun na magpa-5 na yung panganay namin. And he got a chance to play video games.
Exactly. That's why our topic for today, maybe a lot of our listeners are wondering, parang, okay lang ba na ganito yung gawin ko? Or napagpag-iwanan na ba ako? Or weird ba ako? That's why I kinda discerned and, kinda leaned on this topic of insecurity.
Ganun mo. Nice segue. Okay.
Kasi for sure, makaka-relate dito yung mga langga natin and we had our bouts about it.
Had? More of
And
like have. It's a constant battle with
Yeah, I mean, we
insecurity.
still have it. We had it and we still have it.
True.
At minsan kasi pag nakikita mo na, buti pa sila, ganyan. Buti pa sila, mas nakaka-enjoy sa buhay, nakaka-travel.
Ito yung mga sana all.
Nabibili nila. And
True.
lately, we've been talking about this, no? Yung ibang problema nila, kung kikita sila ng 100,000 dirhams a month or 200,000.
Saya ng mga problema.
Exactly,
no?
di ba? Tapos kung ano mabibili nila, BMW ba o Mercedes? Samantalang ako pinoproblema ko kung kailan maayos yung parking sensor ng ating kotse. Na
Or
hindi
yung
maayos-ayos.
inaabangan natin sa Amazon,
Oo.
yung kung kailan magsisale yung Downy, ganyan.
Correct. Tapos yung problema natin kung paano makakatipid ng 5 dirhams, samantalang iba, pinuproblema nila.
Paano ko babayarin 200,000 dirhams? Because, I can't choose between the model of a car I want to change.
Should I change? Kasi 6 months na yung patrol eh.
Parush,
Di ba? I mean, there are certain reasons for us to be insecure about things, or if someone of our age is achieving something that we haven't. Parang, ba't ganun?
True.
Is there something wrong with me? I mean, like, I don't wanna...
Napag-iwanan ba ako? Am I like the latter part of this curve?
And because of that, it dampens our confidence in life.
True.
I don't wanna take this risk kasi, maybe people will say things that I say to them. Parang ayokong ma-promote kasi pinag-uusapan yung napopromote eh.
Yeah.
I don't wanna be,
Exactly.
I get insecure or you achieve a certain thing but you don't tend to enjoy it because you feel insecure that other people might alienate you.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we know that in order for us to have healthy relationships, mapamilya man yan, friends, or sa langga mo, we need to be healthy ourselves first.
Right. Because it's something that we can't give, right? If we don't have it in our own selves, it's not something that we can give. And having this healthy self-image, it's also a key to consider as well when you think about your own psychological makeup, especially when you want to enter into a relationship. Because, the world talks about this whole trend of self-love. But the problem is because of a lot of things that kind of skew the concept, the idea of it. A lot of things tend to get lost on the way, and more often than not, kasi yung tinatawagan natin na self-love,
Quote unquote self-love.
Self-love, quote unquote, it just becomes more of a reaction to yung social insecurity natin rather than an actual healthy self-love.
Kaya importante din i-consider natin yung social barometer na tinatawag, yung how we act socially, yung social well-being natin, because it affects on how we interact with people, and it also allows us to empathize with others. Kasi kung hindi maganda yung social barometer natin, if we're so focused on self-love, we don't even recognize that other people need service as well, need our love as well, need our recognition as well. We're so focused on ourselves that we get blinded with the needs of the people around us that are actually, more often than not, is more essential than what we ought to think.
That's
for
right.
ourselves.
Sometimes, because we always hear about, I need to take care of me first. I need to take care of what's going on first. Yung, especially sa iba na maraming pinaghuhugutan kasi nasaktan, may mga pinagdadaanan, ganyan. I can't take care of other people unless they take care of me. Yes, there is that. But there is a limit, and there's always the true understanding of where that concept or where that thinking comes from. Baka mamaya sa sobrang sobrang, I don't want to say the word obsessed, but maybe for a lack of a better word, you're so concentrated, so focused on just taking care of yourself, we forget to
really empathize.
Exactly, to see that there are also other people around us who need to experience that love from you as well.
Kasi to empathize kasi is to have the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It doesn't mean that you're just inward looking to the whole point of inward and not even being sensitive to the needs of the people around you.
Kaya ito kasi mga langga, I mean, malalaman mo talaga, you will really know if someone wants to be able to have that healthy self-love in order to become a blessing to other people, or to have that quote-unquote self-love because they want to just protect themselves from other people and to create a boundary because of their own insecurities. The problem with constant world standard of self-love, we're constantly turned inward. We constantly overanalyze every single thought, every single word, every single action instead of considering the people we're with. So yung nangyayari, hindi na siya healthy. Nagiging toxic na siya. Kasi palagi mo namang the only thing we think about is ourselves.
Exactly. Instead of nurturing yung healthy interaction mo sa ibang tao, sa paligid mo, this insecurity that you feel sabotages it to the point that even if we have the best of intentions, it doesn't come across as if, you are thinking of others.
And you can
Nagiging
see,
parang plastic. Parang,
and you can
plastic mo
see
sigurado
this,
ka.
exactly, and you can see this in people. I mean, everybody, ultimately, you still have a sense of whether someone is being authentic with you or not. Of course, it's your
Or yung
choice.
friend mo, insecure lang sa'yo.
Exactly.
Minsan pag-sharean mo ng success mo, tapos mararamdaman mo na parang di ka masaya. Parang, okay, you're celebrating with me, pero parang feel ko na,
May inggit.
insecure. Parang, yun nga, insecurity sets in.
That's
Because when
right.
we're insecure, yung mga thoughts din natin, they don't tend to be very healthy.
This is where self-awareness also comes into play. When we know na yung kunwari we have a friend that we say, or a langga that we say, we're celebrating the small victories. Yeah, I'm so happy for you. Pero sa loob mo, ay buti pa siya.
Sana
Good
all.
for
Ayun
them.
naman si sana
all. Kaya nakakaloka din talaga yung sana all na yun.
Ano nga ba yung mga bagay na nangyayari when we're insecure? Number one is, of course, insecure thinking will hold us back from our own dreams.
That's right.
We get blinded, we get discouraged, we think we can't achieve it, we think that it's not worth pursuing, we feel na di tayo enough, we're not worthy of even dreaming or achieving big dreams. Di ba minsan naisip natin yan lang na, kailangan pa ba natin mangarap kasi anong edad na natin? 30 plus na tayo, tapos di pa natin na-achieve to. Samantalang itong 18-year-old, nakuha na niya agad. Yung ilang taon na natin pinagtatrabahuhan, is it still worth pursuing this?
That's right.
Diba? Because of it, nagkakaroon ng domino effect. Tapos you're going to be in a negative thinking spiral because of that, because of insecurity.
Exactly. And this keeps going on and on and on. And especially when we focus so much on looking for external validations. Yung mga decision natin, yung mga dreams natin, we share them with other people because ultimately, it's not about sharing, oh, I have this big dream.
It's not about bragging.
It's not about bragging. But a lot of times when we share this, we're seeking for an external validation. Na parang you want to hear other people say, oh yeah, that's a really good dream. Oh yeah, that's amazing what you're doing. Because we don't feel ourselves na we're worthy to dream the big dream that we say we want to dream, right?
To the point na minsan yung positive words ng ating loved ones, hindi na rin enough kapag insecure ka. Pag insecure ka, no amount of cheering, no amount of encouragement, kahit sa mga taong mahal mo, will matter to you. Kasi, how can others' words be enough for you when we're not even good enough for ourselves?
That's right.
That's how insecurity kills us eh. You know, yung self-sabotage nangyayari because of that. But when we overcome yung insecurity na to, we're able to live our life fully, yung goals natin, kahit hindi yun yung perfect goals na ma-achieve natin, we're happy because of the progress that we have achieved. And of course, we feel full satisfaction if ever we do achieve them.
Right.
But regardless of that, you have that peace that transcends all understanding na, okay, progress is better than perfection. I don't feel insecure. I am secured with how God sees me, with how the authentic people in my life sees me.
That's right.
So another
thing that insecurity does is not only does it holds us back, it doesn't hold us back from our own dreams, but it also keeps us from reading others accurately. Especially we see this in relationships or friendships where there is a superior, inferior kind of complex thing happening where, because, you know, relationships depend heavily sa how we read, how we interpret each other's body language, expressions, actions. So when we don't have that accurate reading because it's so filtered by our own insecurities, we're not able to read people correctly. We're not able to read their intentions correctly. So the problem is that we're so focused on thinking about ourselves and thinking about whether anything we do or anything we say is validated by other people. We don't get to see the authenticity or the realness of the people that we surround ourselves with.
Exactly. Yung, like we mentioned earlier, nawawalan ka ng social barometer. Nagmamalfunction your social barometer mo.
That's right.
You can't read the room. You don't know how to really be authentic with others. When we're insecure kasi, we misread people. We kind of judge, diba? Ganyan lang yan kasi inggit sa akin yan. Though hindi naman, diba? I mean, sometimes we're so inward looking that we fail to even see how they're doing. Hindi mo kakamustahin. Parang bidang-bidang lang sa sarili. Nakakalimutan ng tanungin kung kamusta naman, di ba? Oo, may sorry naman. Sorry sa mga nakakausap ko. Ako naman, excited lang akong magmarites. Hindi ko naman binibida yung sarili ko. Ang binibida ko, yung iba. Istorya ng iba.
But anyways, but this is
Hindi pala
something...
ako marites, tolits pala.
But
Tol,
this is
anong
something,
latest?
but then again, this is something that we discuss in our experiences of being a Simbis facilitator. If you haven't heard of Simbis, please do check us out. We are a certified saving your marriage before it
Hindi na po niya
starts.
alam kung ano po yung Simbis.
Facilitator. Sorry, 2 linggo kasi hindi nag-record. And this is something that we also address or we tackle or we discuss during the assessment na the insecurities that we have kasi can really have an effect in our relationship, in the barometer of your relationship.
In the assessment, we discussed the dynamics, for example, for you to see that you are different from your partner. It doesn't mean that you lack the skills that is necessary, but rather you complement each other, you supplement each other in your journey. Malalaman nyo dun yung personalities nyo on how it can mesh well. Of course, our aim for this episode is for you to be more secured around others. Di ba? Mas maging secure ka. And because when you are in that position, you'll be able to be healthier as an individual and you'll be able to serve others and be a blessing to them.
So how do we go about helping ourselves to move away from this insecurity?
Syempre, number 1, stop comparing yourself to others.
Ito yung mga sinasabi natin na comparisonitis, right? It's one of the big infectious diseases that's going around the world, that's been there since since day one. It's especially emphasized in this generation of social media when we all have a glimpse into the life of others. Of course, it's not always authentic because there's always filters, there's always a curated feed that we see, and yet we find ourselves comparing kung anong pinagdadaanan natin with someone who has carefully curated what they want to present to you.
Yes, when we compare kasi, hina-highlight natin yung mga perceived faults natin, yung mga kakulangan natin. Whenever we become comparisonitis infected, mas na-highlight mo, ay, bakit ako walang ganun? Bakit ako mali? Bakit ako hindi ko magawa yung nagawa niya? So, napapasana all ka na lang again, di ba? To the point that we place our other people in a pedestal as if we're not even being blessed by the Lord. Tearing ourselves down in the process.
Speaking of Lord, you see, a lot of us then, it's very, very common for us to hear na yung to compare ourselves to others. But there are good habits and there are not so good habits, and this is one habit that we believe should just be broken and should not be within us, because the questions of, Lord, bakit? Lord, why is it na I'm not like her, I'm not like him, why can't our life be better? Or mabait naman ako, Lord, I serve, I pray, I do good to other
Nakikinig
people.
ako ng Langga speaks, diba?
Grabe, di naman yung factor. But why is it that bad things happen to good people? Why is there so much unnecessary drama, sufferings in my life?
When we are so focused on comparing ourselves, yun, nagkakaroon tayo ng sense of resentment. Yung sabi mo nga, nagkakaroon ng inggit, and a sense of a more dangerous path, which is worthlessness in ourselves. In turn, pag ganyan kasi we're blinded by our own inadequacies, mas na-highlight yung mga wala tayo, yung mga lack natin sa buhay, then it's gonna be difficult to build and maintain healthy relationships. I mean, why would I even serve others, or why would I even care about others if ako mismo hindi na sapat? Diba? If ako mismo kulang sa pagmamahal. If ako mismo kailangan ko ng pagmamahal, bakit ko uunahin pa yung iba?
Kulang na nga yung pagmamahal ko sa sarili ko, magmamahal pa ako ng iba.
Yun nangyayari.
And it's usually like people like this that tend to be yung parang black hole. We know that there are people who seem to find joy subconsciously or consciously, yung to suck out the life, the joy from other people. And sa totoo lang, you must admit that you have come across people na nakakapagod na to deal with personalities like these, because they you know that they don't know how to love themselves authentically, fully, the way that supposed to be. Kaya yung love na dapat that they should be having for themselves, they're grabbing it from other people. They're sucking it from other people in order to feel that love that they can't give themselves.
Exactly. The reality is yung blessing or yung prosperity sa buhay, again, it does not depend on your location in life, but on your companion. And our companion is our greatest langga. So where do you anchor yourself ba kasi? Yun yung importante eh. Kasi kung ang Diyos ay nasa iyo, if the Lord is with you, you will bloom wherever you are planted. Yun yung pinag-uusapan natin sa feast lately, di ba? You're gonna bloom wherever you're planted, not depending on your location, but who are you walking your life with?
However, speaking of planted, we think na, because I'm here, that's it. I just need to grow where I'm at. But sometimes you also need to consider that maybe where you currently are right now is not really where the Lord wants you to be in, because sometimes we get so comfortable. So ito yung number 2 is to get out of your comfort zone.
Oo, parang hindi ka insecure. Baka naman
Exactly.
kailangan mo umalis na sa comfort zone mo.
Exactly. Because you see, many people feel uncomfortable around others from time to time. I mean, it's not naman automatic na just because you meet another person na okay kayo agad, na click kayo agad.
Click agad. Wow,
Exactly.
click. Parang tagal ko nang di narinig yung click kayo agad.
I'm so sorry. Like, you don't jive together. Like, you don't feel the same thing. But it's fine.
True.
I mean, it's fine because we're all unique individuals. And then there's nothing wrong with that. However,
I mean, when we're feeling that, of course, while it made me feel comfortable to just don't take care of others or just be indifferent to them, it's critical to also go beyond your comfort zone kasi maybe nandun yung potential mo, nandun yung where you will find deeper meaning in your life. It's also important to be more intentional in having more meaningful conversations beyond kamusta or beyond kamusta ang trabaho. Maybe it's a call for you to dive deeper with someone. Someone kasi we just don't want to bother because we're gonna be bothered
if we talk
to them and kamustahin natin sila. But that's our goal eh. You know, as human beings, if we want to improve our relationships, if we want to be more secure about ourselves, it's about really genuinely taking, consideration of the people around you.
That's right. And with regards to relationships, sometimes we feel better na hindi nila ako makikipag-usap sa ibang tao kasi nakakapagod siya.
Don't want to be bothered with.
Yeah, I might as well just, withdraw myself from
Wapakels.
society. But the problem kasi, usually, there's a higher chance of this happening is that when we feel that we want to withdraw ourselves from other people, we actually end up thinking or we're actually preoccupied by what others think about us.
That's why we don't want to approach
That's why we want to approach other people. Pero sa totoo lang, 90% of the people don't even think about you. Akala mo lang yun. This
Akala mo
comes
sikat
from
ka.
this comes from our own pride where we believe or where we think that
Umiikot
the
ang mundo
world,
sa
yeah.
atin.
Oo. Like for example, you may have that yung mga kasama mo sa work na nakakaloka talaga yung personality, yung mga chismis sila, yung gumagawa sila ng drama, yung hindi ka makakatulog, nakakainis talaga sila. But at the end of it all, who's the one losing sleep? Hindi ba ikaw? Do we really think that the people we are so stressed over at work think about us during their free time? More often than not, hindi.
Yung remaining 10%, happy pa nga sa pinagdadaanan mo yun.
Totoo.
Even if it's even if it's outside your comfort zone or it's uncomfortable, it's necessary to start breaking down yung mga barriers na yun. To have this servant heart, to truly connect. Kasi when you do this, you'll find yourself forging deeper relationships that will definitely improve your quality of life. Yan naman talaga yung call ng Diyos sa atin in many ways eh. To connect. Sa feast nga, sabi ko, kailangan, ang priority natin to connect. Diba? Pag may nakita kayong bagong attendee, we talk to them, beyond the kamusta. Let's connect because that's the calling of Christ. When Jesus called out to the disciples, sabihin ba niya, feel ba niya yun? I mean, automatic ba na, di ba? Pero it's his natural inclination to really connect with people kasi for sure yung iba doon, hindi naman nila feel na, sabihin, hindi naman nila priority na kamustahin yung mga mangingisda. Di ba tinanong niya, kamusta yung huli nyo? Tapos sabi nila, we've been out here all day, wala kami mahuli. O, di ba? Buti pa si Cristo, sabi niya, subukan nyo kaya sa kabilang side.
Nakakainis
diba?
kaya yun. Imagine these fishermen haven't even heard of Jesus before, and then all of a sudden, some strangers telling them, this is my job, and then you're telling me, anyway.
Pero nag-connect si Jesus doon, di ba?
Gumawa siya ng way para mag-connect
naging intentional siya, kahit pagod siya. For sure, pagod si Jesus at times, di ba? Nagwi-withdraw nga si Jesus eh. Kasi pag super pagod niya. Pero during that time, di ba, he went out of his comfort zone for sure to actually engage those fishermen. Of course, it takes practice and you have to be intentional like what I said. And as you go out there, of course, know that the Lord is with you. Ang tanong, are you with the Lord, Langga? Baka naman, praise be to God ka na ng praise be to God, pero sure ka bang you are with the Lord? Do you really trust Him?
Which brings us to number 3. Sometimes, or a lot of times, we get insecure, and what amplifies insecurity is the thought of being criticized as well. The thought of being told or being affirmed that what we're doing can be better, that what we're doing is not right. It hurts our pride, it hurts our ego to hear people tell us that there's still a lot to be improved upon.
So, yun yung number 3. We have to learn to be open to criticism. Speaking of criticism, mga Langga, parang awa nyo naman. I-criticize nyo naman kami sa reviews on
positive
our
or negative. We would love to hear from you.
Langgaspeaks.com/reviews. That's langgaspeaks.com/REVIEWS.
Wow, very good lang.
Reviews.
Reviews.
Kasi we feed social insecurity when we make the habit of avoiding criticism. Mas nagiging insecure tayo pag iniiwasan natin yung constructive criticism. When we're withdrawn, when we're just focused on impressing people, nako, nagiging people pleaser lang kayo niyan pag ganyan ang ginawa nyo.
The problem with being a people pleaser is that you lose the chance to love yourself better because you don't recognize the value, the God-given value that God has, that's innate in you, because you always focus on making other people feel good instead of recognizing that you also have a responsibility to yourself
and to others as well, to
and
let
to
them know
that you value yourself.
Exactly. And that you are genuinely concerned about their well-being.
That's
Hindi
right.
yung para lang
masabi mo.
Masabi lang na agree lang sila sa'yo. Friends lang kayo kasi you agree on all things. Pero pagka nag-disagree kayo, hindi na kayo friends.
But the thing is, even with friendship, friends don't always agree with one another, right? In fact, true friendship...
yung mga nakakaaway na namin na friends namin, true friends tayo kasi nagkaaway na tayo eh.
Oo, friendship that has stood the test of time had to go through times of trouble, times of ups and downs. Kaya nga, kunwari, yung ninang ni Joseph, alam ko na...
Ilang beses mo na inaway si Chinky?
Hindi ako. Pero yung parang doon ko talaga alam na mahal niya ako kasi kahit ayaw niya yung time na nandigo kay Jeric, we had that experience and
actually, ikaw yung ayaw niya. Okay sa akin si Chinky. Ikaw yung ayaw niya, yung pagiging clingy mo sa akin, hindi niya nagugustuhan. Pero
sure,
kami,
okay,
cool
sure,
kami.
Okay, sure. Okay, Chinky, I love you. But the thing is kasi, whether you decide to do what is right or what is not right, there will always be someone who will have something to say against you. Diba? To say against you, for you, there will always be yung mga tita Mema around you. Tito Memo around you.
Memo talaga. So, syempre, instead of avoiding yung mga feedback na yan, yung mga criticism, it's essential for us to embrace it. Kasi alam naman natin, makakaharap natin yan. Hindi natin maiwasan sa buhay hanggat nabubuhay tayo, no? We have to... The important thing is we forge deep relationships. Yung mga relationship na yun na kahit i-criticize ka, you won't take them personally. You would always think, ano kaya yung intention behind that criticism? Why do they say that? You won't really take it into heart agad.
And speaking of criticism then, there will always be someone who will say things about what you're doing, against what you are doing, but it is also our job as part of healthy self-love, the way how we're supposed to be, is to also curate the kind of the criticism that you will receive. Baka mamaya yung nagko-comment lang or yung mga hindi nag-like sa post mo, mapagals naman sila sa mga nangyayari sa buhay mo.
Tsaka yun nga, yung pakikinggan mo lang na criticism, yung mga people that you can be honest with as well. Kasi pwede mo silang tanongin, bakit mo nasabi? What's the reason behind it? Is it something? Sometimes naman, they're coming from a good intention place naman eh.
Exactly.
But you just have to open yourself for you to understand them deeper. Letting go of the desire to please people kasi would definitely help you grow more secure in who you are as an individual. Again, many times, the only way to go up is to go down. Diba?
And we should also, it's really, really scary though. And it really needs a lot of courage to do that. But being open to the idea that there are ups and downs in our life, it will also give us an opportunity to see ourselves from an angle that we've never considered before. Diba? I mean, do know na kahit ano pa yung mga criticism sa'yo, no matter what other people will say or maybe what you might criticize yourself about, your innate goodness, your innate value as a human being, as a child of God, will always be anchored upon the God who created you. Ito yung balance na kailangan natin na to hold on to hold firm to, right?
Oo, diba? Isipin mo, papel ka Langga. Diba? Yung papel. Kahit gusutin mo, ito naman tayo sa papel, no? Kahit gusutin mo yung papel, kahit punitin mo yung papel, papel pa rin yan.
Kaso pag nasunog mo, ash na siya. So, nawala na yung properties bilang papel.
Huwag mo sirain nyo. Ayan, nakikinig
sorry.
So, but anyway, the point here is, don't forget the original goodness that you have. Kung paano ka ginawa ng Panginoon. You have a good God and therefore your God created something good and that is you. Kung kalimutan yan.
But the thing is kasi, Mang Langga, unless you yourself experience that, and unless you ask the Lord to reaffirm you, no matter what you hear from other people about whatever podcast you listen about, of self-love, of insecurity, of loving oneself, you won't believe it unless you really experience it from the one who created you in the first place.
So you ask for that grace. O paano ko ma-experience yun? Then you start asking now, Lord, I don't believe that I am worthy, but help me believe because I believe in you. Then the Lord will give you the grace to be able to experience that.
Or if you don't believe at all, edi you ask na yung Lord, I don't believe. Help my unbelief. Gusto ko yun nga, sabi mo, I believe in you. But what if they don't believe? Then you ask,
Lord, I don't believe. Help my unbelief.
Exactly.
I believe in you. Ay. Kumanta bigla.
Pero ito nga talaga mga
I can fly.
Ay, iba na
ang tagal na natin hindi kumanta. I believe I can touch the sky.
That's
I think about it every night and day.
But here's the thing, Langga. Especially if you want to be able to share this love, that overflowing love that you have in your heart to another person, especially when they want to enter the relationship.
Para kang nagde-declamation.
Declamation?
Hindi ka nakatingin sa akin eh. Parang nagde-declare.
Hindi kasi, I'm trying to form these sentences in my mind.
Ma'am, ano to? Play ba to?
Ay, play.
Nag-audition ka sa akin? Hindi ako yung director.
Hindi ba? Feeling ko minsan kasi, oo.
Okay, sige. Alam ko inaanto ka na kaya
pero hindi, nawala tuloy. Nawala tuloy yung sasabihin ko. Nasabi.
Hindi ka professional. I'm criticizing you.
And bilang someone who has self-love, I will accept your criticism and apply it where necessary. Kaya, thanks and best regards.
So, sakto yan sa pinagdadaanan mo sa point natin. Nang-let go ka sa desire mo to please people.
Yun nga. Kasi that's what I'm going through at the moment. Like, I recently had this, parang, ang tawag noon, yung crossroads at work where, of deciding where my career would take. Yeah. And sa totoo lang, I found...
Di-decide siya kung kukunin niya yung 200 dirham increase.
Taray. Pero ano kasi, it was the thing that I had within me was the consequences of in the relationship that I would have sa mga tao sa office, or my own insecurity of whether I would be able to meet the demands of either decision. So yun nga, so parang natakot ako na maging honest kasi kung sa totoo,
naging insecure ka rin.
Naging insecure ako to be able to give my own opinion, which was that wherever you put me, I will work. Nanakot ako na magsabi ng ganun sa totoo lang kasi I didn't think that my opinion mattered. Exactly.
Yung parang you didn't want to appear as if you're choosy, or you didn't want to offend anyone.
Exactly.
Ganun mo na. Pero sabi sa'yo, God, just be honest. Ilang gabi hindi makatulog si Apple.
Oo. And in the end,
She was honest and it paid.
It took, I
Paid off.
remember talaga when I had to say that, when I really was able to talk to the people involved. Sakto 3 p.m. Nag 3 p.m. prayer pa ako bago ko pumasok sa office na yon. Tapos isabihin na ganun nga yung opinion ko. And sa totoo lang, it gave me more peace. I became more peaceful with whatever results will come out because I know that I was honest with myself and that I understood my own value and I offered it to the Lord knowing that He will guide my path.
Amen. Amen, Sister Apple.
Ay.
Siyempre, mga langga, what we're just trying to say here is also take a look back and take a deeper reflection about yourself. Individual health kasi leads to relationship health. No matter what relationship that is. Mapaboss man, sa company nyo, sa pamilya nyo, sa mga kaibigan nyo, sa mga langga dami.
Ay, mga
Mga
anak.
naman.
Oo.
Hindi, mga langga naman kasi si God, tsaka si langga, tsaka pwede rin mga anak, diba? So, of course, you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot give healing if you yourself have sickness. You know, our relationships are only is as healthy as we are. So, always remember about that.
Sabi nga ng isang ex-First Lady of the United States of America, si Eleanor Roosevelt, she said that no one can make you feel inferior without consent. They can put you in inferior circumstances, but the way how you hold yourself up despite the challenging situation that you may be in reflects the strength of character that somebody has.
Exactly. Kaya ako malangga, feel ko talaga CEO yung level ko.
Ibang level talaga yung confidence mo lang.
After ilang
Totoo,
years,
kami natin.
kahit ilang years, tsaka lang ako na-increase ng pang metro. I never felt that I was lacking because of you as well. I mean, you are someone that I can be honest with, and you always tell me, you know, the reality that I need to face. And more so, I am secured with God.
Amen.
I know that He will provide. I know that He will give me opportunities na miss ko or I wasn't given in work, in life. Parang napagdaanan ko na yung I was always afraid of missing out on certain things. Naalala mo nun when we were still...
yung mga FOMO, right? FOMO
experiences.
experiences.
I was FOMO experiences like, siguro, di ba dapat ako yun? Kasi ako yun naman yung nagturo sa kanya. Bakit siya pa yung mga ganun pang dating moment ko. Pero ngayon, okay, sige, may mas nakauna sa akin. May mas nanalo sa Mazu sa lottery. Sasabihin ko, bless them, di ba? I mean, bless them because I know that there are a lot of blessings around us. We just don't see it.
That's right.
And recognizing that there are always enough for everyone is something that I can really resonate with and I can feel peaceful with wherever I am.
It just reminds me of the small group discussion we had just a couple of nights ago as of when we released this podcast. It's just that we were sharing from our experience over the past couple of years that despite the fear of entering into situations that where there is the unknown, na things that we cannot control, pero sa totoo lang, I'm speaking from my perspective, where I feared that there would be greater lack if we entered into a situation where we didn't have everything ironed out
Or figured out.
But we realized, and what I personally experienced was that when you allow your decision, when you offer it up to the Lord, mas lalo actually pumasok yung abundance.
Overflow.
Oo, instead of when you allow yourself to place your security upon God and keep your trust and foundation in Him and allow even the unknown to be taken over by Him instead of lack. Mas
Trust.
mas lumabas pa yung mga opportunities for this abundance to grow, and in more than, hindi na siya nag-stop sa atin lang, mas naging pa siya, mas lumaki pa yung mga vessels of opportunities to be able to share that abundance with other people as well.
I think it's just about giving God a space in your life where He can work in. Hindi yung, okay Lord gawin ko yung kaya ko, tapos saka ka pumasok. It's about being with Him at the very start of everything that you do.
Exactly.
Lord, samahan mo ako ngayon. You know, you have a space in my life every single time.
And the amount the amount of space that you're willing to give God will also
Exactly.
determine how much
You trust Him.
you will let God bless you. Baka mamaya sabihin mo, bakit sobrang liit ng blessing ko? Baka kasi sobrang liit ng
Liit ng
space na
din.
binigay mo sa
Oo,
Diyos.
Tsaka yung
Ay,
tipong,
ibigay mo na sa
yun
kanila
nga
lahat.
hinuhuli mo na, Lord basta, hayaan mo muna kung gawin ko yung way ko. Tapos singit ka na lang sa dulo.
Oo.
O,
Kung
diba, parang,
hindi ko kaya, ganyan.
pag di ko kaya, ikaw yung mag-bridge ng di ko kaya. No, I mean, the Lord wants to be involved. Sabihin na nating pakialamero ang Panginoon. Pero He's the best pakialamero.
Exactly.
At saka hindi naman siya yung pakialamero na namimilit eh.
Hindi.
He respects our free will.
He is
And
the
he
lover
stands,
who
yeah,
invites.
Exactly.
He stands at the door of your heart knocking.
He's the prodigal son's father who's willing to make lechon for you.
Willing to make lechon. Grabe naman yung willing to make lechon. Kaya Malangga, like we said earlier, when it comes to the insecurity, maybe because we think that the world revolves around us. The world does not revolve around us, but God's love is all for you. And when you allow that love to overflow sa puso mo, mawawala yung insecurity dahil alam mo that your firm foundation will be found on God alone.
The world doesn't revolve around us. God's love is around us.
Amen.
So that's our message today, mga langga. I hope that you're doing well. And if you are doing well and you find this podcast very helpful, please feel free to share it to your friends and family. Always remember,
Palangga ka sa Diyos.
see you next week.
Bye!